Hey, yeah, Hey, y'all just take my words and try to twist shit. I'm a real nigga, you a nigga, that's the difference. Hey, some y'all niggas hating from the distance, not watching what I say. You got a part of my opinion. Chico tweeting when we coming different. We the sharks up in the water, nigga, don't get stranded. Hey, some y'all niggas hating from the distance, not watching what I say. I got a part in my opinion.
Welcome back to episode 10 of Part of My Opinion. I'm your host, the good guy. To the right of me, we got...
What's up, y'all? It's Chico, a.k.a. Mr. Terrible. To the right.
Brad Hawkins. Hawk. Nickname.
And I'm Wance, Mr. Sarcasm.
It's been 2 weeks since we last seen y'all, Matt. Well, been 2 weeks since we last seen you. How you been?
Man, I'm here.
You're always talking some dumb shit. Mr. Hawk, how you doing, man?
Good, brother.
I know you had to deal with this asshole the last couple weeks, man, and everything. I apologize for you having to deal with him. You know, how are you today, though? You looking good.
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
That's
That jersey, too, man.
Thank you, brother. That's
Michigan, University
my
of Michigan.
son's number that is for Michigan.
They just got the W today, right?
Okay, congrats on that.
So, you know, before we came here, you know, today was the first game that I actually watched to Brad. So Brad been in Michigan. This is what, fourth or fifth year?
See, he's a fifth-year senior.
Fifth-year senior. So this is the first game that I actually, you know, tuned in. I don't like Michigan, but I'm all for the youth that comes from this city. So before coming here, I said, you know what, Michigan game on TV. I got a few. Let me sit down. Let me watch. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I seen them. I was watching them. It kind of confused me. College get me because you got three people on the same team with the same number. So I be kind of lost because I seen the running back wear number 2. So I'm thinking that's Brad, but then I'm looking at the line, and then I see the say. I'm like, all right, I can't keep up.
When they start doing that.
Well, no.
Huh?
See, it's done because college, they normally have about 125 players. Scholarship
So you
players,
got to duplicate some of the numbers and stuff.
Exactly.
So that was one of the things I just learned with you coming up here, because I really don't pay too much, you know, into college football. But that was one of the things that I just learned, like literally 2 hours ago. Like I'm like, all right, but then I started looking at the roster size, and you're right, like it's huge. It's double an NFL, you know, roster. So let's talk Brad. You know, like we're gonna talk you, but let's talk, you know, because one of the first topics that we had up here was, you know, parents, you know, and youth playing ball. Was it organic for Brad to play football, or was it something that you felt as though you kind of, you know, pushed on him and he just excelled at?
That's organic. He played 4 sports growing up. So, matter of fact, basketball was his love. You know, football was just kind of something that, since I was a coach, he was around it all the time. So he started playing football. Again, it was his second love. But then once he got in high school, he realized that if he was going to do something, you know, as far as sports, you know, football was going to be the sport that was going to get him to school free.
Yeah, a lot of us, we pick basketball. That's like the cool thing to do. But yeah, I regret not playing football in high school.
I ain't play sports in high school at all.
Oh,
I was macking girls in high school.
you don't regret it? You regret it?
No, hell no.
I do regret quitting football. I do.
Hell no. Two days?
I love the fact that you got the opportunity to go to school free.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's the part right there.
I'm not hanging around with a bunch of student loans and all that. You know.
And honestly, that was something that just wasn't on my mind. It should have been on my mind, but it just wasn't. So I quit.
What the hell was you doing in high school?
Minding my damn business.
That's your problem. You should have been playing football. So see that's what we need. We need more people like you to come grip these youngins up and tell them take their ass to football practice and shit.
Hey,
Fee got tired of handing the water out at timeouts and shit.
Listen.
Here you go. Here go the first line.
He didn't even play
It
football.
was a little
at
different.
all.
It was a little different
You
when
didn't
I was
play
growing
football
up.
in high school.
You know,
You said it was a little different.
it was a little different because, you know, on my era, we ain't had much to do as kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So Pop always kicking you out the house. Get outside, do something.
Yeah,
you know? So you
definitely.
gather around with your friends and you play football. You know, in the summertime you play basketball. But, we ain't had all that Madden and all that kind of stuff they have now. That they sit around the house and do
All
So,
day, yeah.
So out there in the streets playing football and all that kind of stuff. That's what we did.
Yeah, we definitely, outside was the thing to do back in the days. I don't know what's going on now with these new kids. They can be in the house all day.
Got cell phones. Don't be
Yeah.
jealous because y'all didn't have cell phones.
They won out. They won out my era.
Take the phones
Yeah, that's
with
what I'm
you where
saying.
you
Y'all
gotta
had
go.
VHSs. You couldn't hide porn fast enough back in the day. I put my page on private. I ain't got to delete nothing from my wife. I just exit out the tab. She never knew I was there. So I mean that jealousy part, back then and now is just better. But y'all was playing Donkey Kong. You had to pay 25 cents at the store. We don't gotta
Still
do
had
that
to
now.
get out the house to do it though.
I mean, that's fine. Now we can stay in the house and watch porn all day. Well, at least me, I can stay in the house and
And
watch
that's
porn
what the
all
hell's
day.
wrong with today's society. Everybody.
It is, man. It is. So, let's talk you now. What is it that you do?
Well, currently I'm retired.
Okay.
I retired going on 7 years now.
Okay.
I worked for the Department of Corrections for 25 years. After that, all I do is coach kids, train kids, that kind of stuff. That's all I do.
Did you try to give it back to the youth, all the knowledge that you had over the years?
I've been doing it for 30 years. This is my 30th year coaching. I'm a little hands off now because I now have the staff and the individuals that can get some of the work done. So I'm not doing a whole lot by myself anymore.
Okay.
Can't quite seem to walk away from it though.
Well, it's a love.
Right.
You know what I mean? So can't walk completely away, but
Right.
as you get older, your steps
Right, you
is a
step
little-
right.
steps is a little slower. So you try to get somebody to help you out, do some things.
Do you ever think Camden Sports, because you're tied to Whitman Park, right?
Yeah, I'm tied to Whitman Park and Camden High School.
Whitman Park and Camden. So you thinking in Pop Warner, as far as Camden Sports, we can ever get rid of is it still 3 teams in Camden?
It's 4 teams. Actually, it was 5, but Fairview's not playing this year, so it's 4 Camden teams.
Okay. Centerville,
Centerville,
Whitman,
Stanley Park,
Stanley
Whitman,
Park.
and Camden Powell.
Oh, okay.
Camden side. That's one.
Yeah, that's on the East Camden side.
Okay.
I forgot about Stanley Park.
It's at Stockton Station.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So like, you think they ever gonna combine and just have one?
well, that's something that we wanted to do. We talked about it a lot. What happens is when you got guys in charge, people don't want to be
Too many alphas in one.
right.
Yeah, too
Right.
many
So you
alphas.
got too many chiefs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not enough Indians. So, but if that ever happened, I won't say necessarily one team, but 2 teams because of the number of kids
number
that
of
we
kids,
have in
yeah.
that area. So, and I mean talented kids. We got a lot of kids that play outside the city, Pensacola, other areas. But they're stacked with kids from Camden. And
But why is that though? I can tell you why it was for me growing up, and maybe you view it differently. But for me, I felt as though every Pop Warner team that I went to, it was a lot of nepotism. So it's like I may be better than the person who's starting, but the starter is the coach's son, so he gets the look.
And a lot of times that's true. Growing up, seeing it. But what we try to do as a program, number one, I don't allow a coach to coach his kid.
Okay.
So, if you have 4 levels of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. If you are a junior coach and your child came from the freshman level, then I'll allow you to coach a kid because he came up to you. I have a problem with those guys who follow their kid every level they go up to. And it tells me that you're really not committed to the program. You're committed to your kid.
Right.
So when your kid leave, you
leave.
leave.
You leave. Right.
We need committed guys in the community that's going to stick around with the program and invest in it. It's not all about your kid. Truthfully, everybody's kid's not that good, and you're painting a false picture when you know that.
That's a fact.
I hear they got a new high school. What is it, KIP? or something like that, and they looking for a football field or something.
They got a couple high schools, but
The
yeah,
old Sumner, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They actually were trying to start a program this past year.
Okay.
They didn't have the participation. They didn't even have the staff, and it's hard to do that when you got a Camden High School and Woodrow Wilson there,
Right,
or
right.
established programs,
Right.
and not only established programs but doing well. We bring a lot of kids out of those two schools that go to D1 colleges or college in general. You know what I mean? So to put, a little knife in between there, it's a little difficult.
It's gonna be, yeah.
So let's dip. I'm gonna deepen to a little bit of your history. Before you started coaching. Did you play football at all?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I played. I played Little League. I played Centerville. I played a little bit at Woodman Park.
Okay.
Then I played at Camden High School. I left there. I went over and I played at Cheney University
Okay.
for actually 2.5 years.
Okay.
And I had to try out with the Philadelphia Eagles
Okay. What position did
back
you
in
play?
'88, receiver.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so I didn't make the team, and that's where my coaching started.
Right.
So I did a year coaching at Cheney as a receiver coach, and after leaving there, coming back home, I did 2 years coaching over at Camden High School before I went into the Department of Corrections.
Okay.
So my little break came in there, and then I don't know if you guys know Chris Collins. He was the president of Woodman Park, and at the time, Woodman Park program had folded for a few years. He asked me, could I come run the program? And
Okay.
that's where all that started at there. So that's
Okay.
this year's 21 years
Okay.
over at Woodman Park.
All right.
So how do you feel watching your son play on a big stage like Michigan? Like, how does that?
I'm proud. I'm very proud.
Absolutely.
But one of the things is, it's education's first.
Right.
So as a family, our thing was to get your degree. Now, I have 6 children. Out of all my kids, all of them have their degree, except for my middle son. So getting your degree was the main goal. Once you accomplish that, then everything else is your dream. So it's not about me or the family. It's about make sure that you're at this, what you need when you go in life, while you have your own family.
So I'm kind of the controversy one. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna ask you a question. I want honesty on this question. Who better, you or Brad? I mean, well, let me say senior or junior. Who better?
He is.
Okay.
He's better.
Now, is that a political answer or an honest one?
No, it's an honest answer.
Okay.
Now, I'm faster.
You went
Right.
now?
Not now.
But back then,
But back then,
Senior
back
year.
then,
You
back then, I'm faster. But see, he much bigger and stronger than I was. He's 6'2".
Yeah, when so I seen him once, when he was in high school, and then I seen him today, like on a little HD Zoom, and I'm like, he's big as shit. I didn't know he was that. Now I haven't seen him in person in years, so I don't know, if the TV doing him justice, but he was big as hell. I was just like, okay,
He's 6'2", 220.
yeah, he,
Perfect size at that position.
I came out of college, I was 172 pounds.
yeah.
So
yeah, these kids bred it different nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't gonna tell him to take the trash out now. He gonna look at that. I ain't playing. you might have to step down a little bit. You might have to step down a little bit.
if you don't have no cash in your pocket, you need some money, you're going to take out the trash.
I got you. One of the things for me that I seen the week, going back, and I was excited to see you when you came up here to talk to you about was, I know Centerville, they had a problem with landscaping on their field, to where their grass was very high. The players was tripping on it. It was a few injuries actually from the youth because the people who came out and cut the grass did a horrible job. You couldn't even see the kids cleat through the grass and everything. And then, Whitman Park is in the stage of getting a new field and stuff now. So even though you're Whitman Park, you serve Camden youth, in a whole.
Yes.
I know you don't see, whatever, you just see Camden Youth, period. So for you, how do that make you feel when you see, like, okay, my program is getting a new feel, but it's another program also that I care about the youth for, to where it's being treated this badly?
Well, that works two ways, because a lot of the responsibility is, if I know that I have a football game or practice, I would call and make sure the city have the grass cut. So there got to be a communication with you.
But the grass was cut; it just was cut poorly.
Well, I mean, I can't speak on how it was cut and this and that, but I know our involvement as an organization, and considering there's 5-6 different fields in the city, and the workload that they have and kind of stuff like that, I'll make a phone call. Say, listen, I got a game this week. Matter of fact, actually, what I do, I give them a schedule of the season. They know when my games are, which ones are home, which ones are away. But not only for that, but for practice as well. So you got to make sure that landscaping is right. Make sure no kids getting hurt. That kind of stuff, because they're public parks. So anybody can walk through those parks and drop stuff or what have you.
Right.
So you got to kind of police your area, know what's going on, and stay on top of the people that's in charge of it.
Gotcha. So, I mean, the politics that go behind, each field getting a new park, like, if you can touch on that, how does that work? After you guys get yours, who would be next in line to get a new park?
Well, I know they've been doing a lot of parks in the city, not necessarily football fields or things like that. They've done a lot of parks in the last 5 or 6 years in the city. They just invested $4.5 million in our facility. But this is something that I was crying for 14 years. So it took 3 mayors, a bunch of different city council people, things like that. But actually how ours got taken care of was this way. We, at Whitman Park, we didn't play a home game in 10 years. So we were actually using Centerville, using Powell, or even using Camden High School. So we would practice there, a bunch of rocks and all kinds of stuff. We could never get the cooperation that we wanted. And the league that we were in, Tri-County, after so many years, they sends us a letter saying that you guys don't play at Whitman Park, which you say your title is and your address is. So they sent us a letter saying that if you have your field straightened out by this time, which was about a year later, that we're going to remove you out of our league. Forward that information to the city. And initially, I didn't get no type of response. So what I did was I forwarded everything to the county. County parks, open space. County got involved, had a meeting, said that they were going to do an investment. This is actually 4 years ago. Said they was going to do the investment. They did some fixing up, put a fence around it, that kind of stuff, where it was playable. We could play a home game. Then they seen how many kids that actually participate in this city, in that program. The county went all out and made the investment for us. So they announced it last year that they were going to build a facility. They didn't give us no real details at the time, but then when we got the details, it said, this facility is going to be the best in South Jersey. So, okay, I'll wait to see that. When they finally came forward with it, broke out the outline and things like that, but the county's involved.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the way that works is once the county do what they have to do in partnership with the city and others, the county eventually turn it back over to the city. So it won't. It'll still be a city park. It's just operated by the county for a year, and then it turns it back over to the city for $1.
Okay.
And we the ones that have to have it.
Do you think with the youth, like youth football, do you think it's going to elevate, or you think everybody eventually will become one? And what I mean by elevate, like, do you think there'd be more teams added? Because, like, back in the day when I played youth sports, it was all different hoods had their own teams.
That's how it was when I started. Every part of the city had its own program. And then when the city didn't want to invest that kind of money anymore,
I got you.
we had to go what you call solo or invest in your own program.
Got you.
Yeah, man.
And, so we broke it down where we got involved, and we went to Tri-County, and Centerville went to Pop Warner, and Stanley Park went to another league. But you had to start funding your own program. So you got to raise money and things of that nature, which was very difficult in the beginning because we didn't have resources or the companies that will invest in us, on kids that are not yours. You know what I mean?
Or even enough parent involvement.
Right.
Like that.
You know what I mean?
'Cause
So
I
we
don't see
started
a lot of
doing
parents.
those small things like fish fries and
Yeah.
beef and beers and things like that. Raise enough money to get a couple helmets, a few helmets here, then more. Then we finally got somebody that took interest in us, and that was Volunteers of America.
Okay.
They came up, their first investment on us was actually $20,000, which actually was enough to put equipment on all for our teams at that time. So what we continue to do is every year there's probably 50 to 75 helmets that we'll buy. Even though we don't need them, we have them.
Right.
So each year we can, 3 years,
They worn out.
Right.
right, your helmet is obsolete, it's off date. So keep doing it so that you can continue to have what you need. And the only problem that we've had actually was this year. That's because last year, the pandemic, everything was shut down. So once everything opened up, everybody needed.
And it was a shortage on
And
everything.
it was a shortage on everything.
So,
So.
ending this convo off, if you could look into the camera and you could say anything, to help your organization out, what would it be?
Well, first of all, I would ask people in the city of Camden to invest in your own. Stop taking your kids, our kids, and taking them to areas that don't care about them.
They only care about their talent.
Right. Not only that, but a lot of our kids go to school here, go to high school here. So when you come to our program, you're already learning what you're going to get at high school because we teach their curriculum on the football field. So a lot of our kids go to high school, and each year that I can recall, we had at least one freshman that started varsity coming out of our program. So it was, like I said, under the same system, doing a lot of what they do, so that our kids are familiar what's going on.
Mr. Hawkins, thank you for your time and thank you for your service to the youth today and everything.
Definitely.
Well, here on this platform, we try to give everybody their flowers. So some conversations when we bring people up, it might always be a question mark to why. Like, what do they have to offer? But it's the knowledge that we care about. Not every conversation has to be exciting. Not everyone has to be, controversial. It's just educational. And the things that you said today is very educational. So we appreciate you for your 30-plus years, for what you do to the youth and everything, and continue to be you. And I hope, Brad Jr. has a successful career moving forward.
Thank you for
Most
that.
definitely.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. Thanks for
coming,
taking the
man.
time out to
Appreciate
come.
you.
Sure.
Listen, just one thing to say. If you're ever in the city of Camden during this time of year when we're playing things like this, stop by, see the kids, see how the program's going on, and then, maybe you'll be able to holler at somebody that lives here that's going other places. Tell them to stay home. Tell them to stay home, elevate their own community,
I agree.
so that community can flourish.
Right.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.